Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we have to talk about two potential deals that the Knicks have been linked to over the last week. And we'll start off with Trey Murphy. Now, his comments at Media Day turned some heads, and this is what he said.
There's been a lot of advocacy for you to be a starter for this team. The numbers show that when you get minutes, the team does well. When you get shots, I think last year when you got 11 or more shots, the team was 22-8. When you got less than 11 shots, you were 13-14. Do you view yourself as a starter for this team? Do you feel that you're competing for a starting spot with this team? And if you aren't chosen as a starter based on however the groupings go, how do you play as if you are?
I mean, I absolutely think I'm a starter on Lily in the NBA, just in general. I'm a starter. And it's not up to me, but, whatever happens, like, I'm going to be okay. Like, it's happened in the past where, I feel like I could or should start, and, I've come off the bench and I still figure out ways to contribute and help win. That's the biggest thing for me is, helping my team win. And would love for that to be as, starting the games, but, that's not up to me.
Right,
Now, if Trey Murphy was brought into the fold with the New York Knicks, you could presume that Josh Hart would go to the bench and provide that spark off the bench, and they would insert Trey Murphy at that two guard spot. He would provide much needed shooting, and if you are going to trade a player like Dante DiVincenzo, adding Trey Murphy would be ideal. Taller player, 6'8", very athletic, brings some of the same things, but just a 6'8" version on the brink of becoming a potential NBA All-Star. And so that's it's for that reason that the Pelicans value him so much, and they aren't really interested in moving Trey Murphy, and they want to move in a direction with him and Herb Jones ideally in the future. Now, it's been coming out of Pelicans camp that Brandon Ingram has been killing it, but they're going to let him play this deal out. He didn't perform in the postseason very well versus Lou Dort, so that kind of opened the door. They couldn't agree on a deal this summer, so he's going to play it out, and I guess the two sides will talk about it next year. So um, I don't think the Trey Murphy thing is about to happen, and on top of that, Trey Murphy suffered a hamstring injury where he'll be out for an additional 3 weeks. Um, but that may be something that the Knicks and the Pelicans explore around the trade deadline, February the 8th, heading into the later part of the season and getting ready for the postseason. Both teams may take a look at that, depending on where their teams are at that point, how everyone's playing. But a lot of what happens with Trey Murphy will depend on Brandon Ingram if they feel like maxing him out after this upcoming season. So it's a big season for him, but one of those guys will become available. And I think, the Knicks have been eyeing Trey Murphy, but don't look like nothing's going to get done there according to the Knicks insiders and all of that. But also, you have Marcus Smart, who's been linked to the New York Knicks, and that's just kind of came about over the last couple of days. And Marcus Smart, what he would bring is toughness, defense. He'd love to play against the Boston Celtics. He'd be good in those Indiana Pacers matchups with what he brings to the table. Also, Marcus Smart, the value in him lies in him becoming another ball handler. Like when Jalen Brunson goes to the bench, he can play multiple roles. He can guard bigger players. He can even guard most four men, at times. So Marcus Smart does provide that element for the team. I think looking at the Knicks and Deuce McBride's development, do you give up Deuce at this point? Deuce makes $4 million this year, and his salary actually goes down to under $4 million next year. And he's much cheaper to have than Marcus Smart. He's growing into his potential right now, whereas Marcus Smart has peaked, and there are concerns about his health. He only played 20 games last year, and he makes $20 million this year, and it'll increase even more next season. So, do you trade away Deuce McBride, in a deal along with other players to acquire Marcus Smart? Or do you just continue to let Deuce grow into his role? Many Knicks fans want to ride it out with Deuce. I like how Deuce has grown up in the G League program under the Knicks, and is now a contributor. So they have so much invested in him. You kind of just want to see what Deuce can do this season. Having other point guards on the roster, Cam Payne, Tyler Kolek, so he's able to uh, play off the ball a bit more and really play to his strengths. So, um, again, I think that's another trade that may be explored the closer we get to trade deadline. But those are two names to be on the lookout for with the New York Knicks going forward this season. So we'll see what happens with that. But the Marcus Smart rumor is, on fire right now. The Trey Murphy thing has died down a little bit over the last few days, but we'll wait and see what happens. Let me know what you want to see, Knicks fans. How do you want to see this roster play out? Or are you good with how it is right now? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.